Hey, Shalom. Welcome to episode one of this new series of podcasts about extremely important topics. It's going to be kind of like, the inspiration from like Joe Rogan style podcast, where basically you have a quick little intro and then you just get right into the subject matter. And you have a video, obviously. You can watch the Joe Rogan podcast on YouTube. So it just makes it a little more interesting, and this should be good. It should fit with the style because sometimes I need to show visuals, like in this video that you'll see some of the words up on the screen. And other than that, you can pretty much play it and listen to it anytime you'd like, wherever. And so that is the quick intro, and let's get right into the topic, Bezrat Hashem. So, as you see the title of the video, what is a man and what is a woman? What is man and what is woman? So today we live in a time where people are already confused as to what actually is a man and what actually is a woman. Fortunately for us that we have the words of the sages that already define for us what exactly is a man and what exactly is a woman. And we'd like to explore that, the definitive definition of each. I want to speak with the most sensitivity for this subject so that anybody listening can listen to it and know that they're getting exactly what they need and, only good. None of these labels, just simply me to you. Okay. So don't get scared if I switch on the face cam here. Okay. Hello and welcome. So basically, this video is going to be an opportunity for us to see also that the definitions of words is in the words themselves, in Lashon HaKodesh, which is translated as the Holy Tongue. And we'll see now that the Aleph Bet is are pictures, therefore Lashon HaKodesh is a pictorial language. Here you could see the Aleph Bet chart, when the Aleph Bet in their true forms exactly as they appear on an authentic scroll. And we will get a chance to see a bunch of cool things. So, Bezrat Hashem, with the help of God, as translated. But that's going to be a separate video. But for this video, just the inspiration was because, to get an answer out there, because we just see that it's literally getting more and more confusing every day. So, let's begin, actually. Okay. So right here, what we're looking at right now, two words on the right, the word on the right here, this is the word ish, which is man. The word on the left is isha, which is woman. Now, just a quick thing that our sages actually recognize three genders, or really there's only two genders, and the androgynous, which has both, who is born with both like functioning organs, like he has both characteristics of male and female, and you really cannot tell, it could go either way. That is an androgynous, the definition of it, as I confirmed with my rabbi. So you have to be born with it. So a real androgynous person, or hermaphrodite, some refer to them, but our sages call them androgynous. You can see that in the actual Mishnayot. And basically, this is an individual who has both characteristics, and we cannot distinguish between if he's really a man or a woman. It could really go both ways. So I don't know if that's a third or meaning a combination of the two that exist. So for example, we have ish and isha, man and woman. And I think that partly the reason for the mass confusion in the world as to which things are masculine, and which things are feminine, is the fact that the principle that everything is lost in translation. You see, one of the unique features of Lashon HaKodesh is the whole language is charged male or female. even every object in the world is either more masculine or feminine, which is something that is lost completely in English. Some languages preserve that, but in English, this is almost, I think it's completely lost in English. For example, from the second verse of the entire Torah, Ve'ha'aretz hayta, the earth she was. This is lost in English. You have, and the earth was, and you have no idea that the earth, the conjugation there, hayeta, instead of the word haya, which would be male, it's hayta, more feminine, that the earth, teaching us the earth is a feminine thing, and this is completely lost in English. As we'll see, the metaphor, right, of the woman who's likened to the earth is a feminine thing, as we'll see B'ezrat Hashem. Okay, so that's established, so the ish and isha, and the language is read from right to left, so that's that. Also, just a quick thing, I guess, the letter shin here, shin, it looks like 3 teeth sort of attached at the root, or whatever. Just it looks like 3 teeth. Shen literally is a tooth, so this is the letter that's depicting teeth. And basically the only way to pronounce it is with your teeth. Sh. That is only, the shin is only pronounced with your teeth. So anyway, this is just for someone who wants to like pick up little tricks for the language to know that it looks visually like a set of teeth. You need your teeth to pronounce it, and that is shin. And there's many things with that. So that's okay. So our sages actually teach us the difference, or not the difference, but teach us something hugely important here. Okay. And this is recorded word for word in the words of the sages, and it opens like this: Darish Rabbi Akiva. This is found in Bavli Sota on page 17a. So it says Darish Rabbi Akiva, that Rabbi Akiva expounded the text, or explained exactly. Ish and Isha, man and woman, Zachu, if they merit, Shechina benehem, that the divine presence is between them, Lo Zachu, but if they do not merit, Ish ochlatan, a fire will consume them. Okay, what? Okay, so here we go. Rabbi Akiva, the master of the entire Torah, literally, is now given us this amazing teaching. So let's explore what this means. Looking back at the words Ish and Isha, the letters that they have in common is Aleph and Shin. This is the letter Aleph, this is the letter Shin. You could just visually see that they are identical here and here. Aleph and Aleph, Shin and Shin. Anyway, Aleph and Shin spell fire, Esh, Esh, and that's the source of the English word ash, because an Esh, fire, turns everything into ash, as Gaon Rav Zamir Cohen Shlita explains, the great Rabbi Zamir Cohen Shlita, which means Shlita is added at the end of like great people, like great sages, which is like a little blessing that they should live long and good days and years, them and their families, you know, so that they can continue to teach the world the light of God, the real Torah, and not any man-made interpretation, whatever. So here we go. And that's another principle, that Lashon HaKodesh is also the source of words in all languages. So here, as we see with Esh and Ash, that's just one tiny example. I have collected myself over 200 examples, and there's many books even written on this, and there's many more examples to come, B'ezrat Hashem, but just here, you're just getting a taste of everything. So Ish and Isha, man and woman, they share the letters fire, okay? But unique to the man is the letter Yud, and unique to the woman is the letter Hey. Okay, and Yud and Hey together is a 2-letter name of God. It's a famous name because it's even used, all over the place. But whatever. The point is, we shouldn't say God's name when we're not actually saying the full verse in the full language. That's interesting when it comes to English. But yeah, basically, you're not allowed to say Hashem's name until you actually read the verse. So I'm going to say a verse with Hashem's name, and you'll hear how that sounds. Hallelujah. These 2 letters, right, is that name of Hashem. Hallelu el bekodsho, hallelu berakia uzo. Okay, so the letters Yud and Hey spell God, one of God's names. And so what Rabbi Akiva is teaching is that when man and woman come together and unite in holiness, that the name of creation, if they merit, the name of God is recognized. The divine presence dwells among them if they're together. Okay, so sorry. I have to preface this, not preface, but just, I guess, focus more on the visuals, the visual side of things for a second. Ish and Isha. Okay, so we said the man, unique to the man is the letter Yud. It's the smallest letter in the alphabet. It's sort of like floating here in midair. But anyway, the letter Yud. It's the smallest letter in the alphabet, and this resembles like a tiny seed, basically like a watermelon seed, right? But so the man is the one who carries the seed. The woman, on the other hand, if you look at the letter Hey, one of the unique features of Lashon HaKodesh is that the letters themselves are made up of other letters. So the letter Hey is one of those letters, and here it's made up of two letters. So it's made up of the letter Dalet, and here you see an upside down letter Yud. This is very significant. Okay. So the man is the one who provides the seed. The woman is the one who can receive this seed and convert it and flip it into reality. Flip it upside down. If you think how a baby is born, it is born upside down. This is man and woman. Okay, so man is the one who has the seed. The woman is the one who can take the seed and flip it and convert it to reality and give birth to a new universe, a brand new universe called a baby, a child. Because their sages say that a person is considered a miniature universe. Each person is a miniature universe. It's their own universe. They're their own universe. So the definition of man and woman here is a completely internal definition. And this is completely the opposite for the rest of the world. The rest of the world's definition of man and woman is completely external. What makes you a woman? If you look like a woman. If you have long hair and breasts and you dress in female clothes and you put on makeup, that is what makes you a woman. But here we're receiving the internal definition of what is a man and woman. And so basically, you can dress up, people can dress up any way they can, but that doesn't change the inside. And now, what to do with the people who really feel more feminine in a male body or more masculine in a female body? And this, Baruch Hashem, is again answered in the words of the sages, and this is just an amazing thing. Firstly, I'm going to say that the sages speak about every single thing. It's a mistake to think this is again a foreign concept to Judaism. This is in Christianity, Yimach Shemam Zichram, that their view of saints, saints, people are so holy that they're not even on earth anymore. They're just, that is not at all. Okay, the sages are probably started the term down to earth, like the most down to earth, that they speak about every single thing. And you're supposed to ask every single thing. The freedom to ask every single question that you have, and the sages speak about every single thing. There's not a matter that they do not discuss. That's number one. And number two, okay. Oh, okay, thank God. We got it back. Is that if the last time we learned the Torah was when we were 5 years old, let's say, we currently, right now, have a 5-year-old understanding of the entire Torah. The closest example is when you're rewatching movies that you used to watch when you were little kids, and now you're understanding all of these jokes and references that you had no idea about before. It's basically the same thing. That when you learn Torah, obviously there are certain things you don't tell kids right away, right? That would be so stupid to do that. You have to teach kids what the kids need to know at their level and what people need to know at their level. And so when you're little, you're not taught certain things, but the thing is that that's why it's so important to keep relearning the Torah, is that because when you grow up relearning the same things, you're now seeing and understanding things that you just couldn't or didn't understand at all before. And that's why learning it now, we should try to learn it now, knowing what we know. My hand's like, okay, knowing what we know now, and then with that we'll be able to really understand, because the Torah speaks about everything, like we said, and it's very important to speak about everything, but they do it obviously in a very nice way. Okay, and so we've just seen the definition of the words, and now to explain what. So again, to the people who really feel, like we said, feminine in a masculine body, in a male body, and masculine in a female body, the answer is, let me get out of this view here. Okay. So the answer is, my brother Shlita taught me this in the name of a sage that I have to get the name. But basically, it's learned out from the story of Yosef. The Midrash says it's a series of fascinating discussion. Okay, so it starts out with the fact that I guess maybe one of the teachings of the sages is that if you pray for the sex of the baby to be changed in the womb, this is a worthless prayer, because then again, that's part of the discussion there. But then the student sort of asks, but didn't Leah pray to have the sex of the baby changed? So this is the amazing story that Leah was a prophetess. Rachel was a prophetess. They all saw that Yaakov was supposed to have 12 tribes come from him. And so basically, as they were having kids, Leah just got pregnant, and she realized that if she gives birth to another boy, then her sister Rachel would have even less kids than the servants would. And so what she did is she prayed to have the sex of the baby changed. Now the sages say, they answer the question that when Leah prayed, it's within the first 40 days. In the first 40 days of pregnancy, that there a prayer actually has an effect. But 40 days and on, that is the child is now locked in, so to speak. So she prayed to have the child, the sex of the baby, changed. So now, then Rachel, who got pregnant, she then had the boy, okay? And when Rachel gave birth, she gave birth to Yosef. And Leah gave birth to Dinah. Yosef and Dinah. What does it say about Yosef? Yosef, you notice that the roles flipped. That the roles of Yosef and Dinah flipped. That Yosef is described in the text as being extremely beautiful. The most gorgeous, in fact. They say he's one of the most gorgeous people to ever live. In the Midrash, it says that the wife of Potiphar would invite her girlfriends over just so that they could glance at his beauty. And it says that one time they were in the middle of cutting something, and Yosef walked in their room, and they were so shocked by his beauty that they actually cut themselves a little, the knife slipped out, basically just drop dead gorgeous, as they say, or so that was Yosef. And normally only the women are described as being beautiful, right? We have that by Sarah, we have that, I think, as well by all the Imaot, by Rivka, by Rachel, Leah as well, but she was crying because she was afraid to get married to Esav, unfortunately, the wicked Esav, as we'll see what really should have happened there. Okay, but so the roles flipped. Yosef is being described as extremely beautiful. Now, what does Yaakov do for Yosef? He makes him a kutonet pasim. Later in Tanakh, right, as you progress throughout Tanakh, B'ezrat Hashem, every child should be so fortunate to finish Tanakh with Targum, obviously, and in Ketav Ashurit, you can't learn it any other way. So anyway, as you're in Tanakh and you're learning in Sefer Shmuel towards the end, the unfortunate story about David's son who got carried away and actually slept with was it his direct sister or something? It was something obviously horrible. But there, the term, it was a horrible story. And again, that's the thing. It's written to learn from it. The hard lesson is on the ink, on the paper, so that you can learn it from there and you don't have to learn it in life. To know to never make that mistake again. Okay, that's why it's written down, and it's the harshest topics. Specifically, you live through them on this page, so you never have to, B'ezrat Hashem, live through them in life, because you will be made aware of certain situations that, you would never otherwise. So obviously, it's very... But the point of this, what I'm trying to say, is that the girl there says that she, at that time, was wearing a kutonet pasim, because this is the way of the girls, to wear a kutonet pasim. Yaakov made Yosef a kutonet pasim, okay? Again, Yosef is more of a feminine soul within a masculine body. Dinah, on the other hand, it's amazing because Dinah, on the other hand, was a more masculine soul in the female body. And what does it say about Dinah? What it says about usually men. Men are the ones to go out into the fields. What does it say about Dinah? V'tetzeh Dinah el hasadeh, that she went out into the fields. It's the roles literally flipped. Okay, so what do? So we know, firstly, that there is such a thing that a person could feel more, let's say, again, like we said, feminine in a male body, masculine in a female body, be more masculine in a female body. So the answer is that what you have to do is find the person who balances you, that those would be perfect together, meaning the more masculine female and a more feminine male together would be the perfect balance of these energies and work together. So God forbid not to do anything to your body, but to find the one who balances and complements your personality. That is the key. That is what should be done. And that's learned out from here. And in fact, my dad said the good example, sometimes you see maybe like a smaller guy likes like a bigger woman, and that's nothing. It's not a laughing matter. That's a beautiful thing. And the fact that the point is that you have to balance each other. That's it. Because what you're looking for is you're looking for your other half your other half, whatever this means. But the point is that this shows that you have to balance. So here in the Torah, this whole thing is explained. So Yosef was gorgeous. He was, again, and described in more feminine sort of features. Not that, right? And Dinah, it says the opposite. I forgot. I have to find out who the actual rabbi is who said this teaching. But obviously, as soon as I find out, I'll let everybody know, either through another video or just whatever, post it, but annotate it or in the comments or something like that. Okay, so here we'll enter another topic. If I tried to make it in sections, so if you want to sign off in the first section, you at least got a complete idea, and then to continue like that. So I guess these could be maybe later broken on into different videos, but... So going back, let's go back to just looking at male and female and this whole concept. Ish and Isha. Okay. man and woman. So again, that Rebbe Akiva said that if they merit, God's presence is recognized, and we started to say that these are the two letters that Hashem used to create the worlds with. You know, in the Torah it says, Ele toldot shamayim ba'aretz behi bar'am. This is Sidra Bet, chapter 2, the real chapter 2, which is going to be a whole separate video as to the real chapters of the Torah. Something completely mind-boggling. Basically, I'll save it for there. The chapters that we use in this book basically are not our invention. This is actually a Christian invention, Yimach Shmam Zichram, and that they put in breaks where they don't belong. And there's even support. There's reason to believe that they even did this specifically to highlight their own ideologies, because Christians are obsessed with like sin and blood and hell and God forbid, chas v'shalom, like the craziest thing. So they even would highlight that, because a sidra usually never begins in anything negative, in any bad verse. And if you notice, the chapters like start always at like a bad thing. It's unbelievable. Okay. That's a separate video. But here, so Behi Bar'am, the sages note that Hashem created the world Behi Bar'am, heaven and earth with the letter He, meaning the physical world, and the sky and everything was created with the letter He. The world to come was created with the letter Yud. So when man and woman come together, this Yud and He unite, and these are letters that Hashem used to create. So the name for creation is used when man and woman unite and come together. Okay, so that is the explanation of the actual name, the divine presence that is recognized. And then when man and woman unite, then you watch God create a whole universe. The whole Torah starts over again, and Hashem creates the universe before your very eyes. That is Hashem molding a living sculpture inside of a living being, and molding and shaping a completely brand new universe. And that's really the whole story of the Torah beginning again. And you could watch it before your eyes. Okay? And that is that. And now, the second half, Lo zahu esh ochlatan, a fire would consume them. God forbid. So it's interesting that anger and jealousy, God forbid, lusts, it's all fire, right? When you say, and when you, the wording that's even used when you're speaking about attractive people is ish. The word is that they're hot, Esh, like a fire, that they are hot. That is the language that's used, that because that's the emotion that's experienced, that it's burning desire, burning hot, you know, all those words. So God forbid if there is strife, then it's as if the Yud and the He, the letters depart, God's name departs, and what you're left behind with is Esh, just burning fires, two fires just going blazing. Okay, and that's chaos. That's all, God forbid, that's lusts and jealousy and, God forbid, all of these not good things. Chas v'shalom. And also, it's the concept that started today. You see, you have to recognize reality. Okay, so look, the man, right, we said, has the letter Yud, which we said is the smallest letter, and it's like a tiny seed. It's a point, really, that contains everything. It's a bit of information, a drop of wisdom. The Ish is the one who carries the seed. But God forbid that in the world, unfortunately, some people have been so misled and actually did harm to their bodies. And for some of these men, that they went ahead and actually removed, God forbid. I'm not even going to finish that. Okay? And once the Yud departs, then all you're left with is Esh, hot. You're just someone who's hot, let's say, and that's the term that's used even, it's called a trap. A trap because you think that they're a female and they're actually a male. Because again, our definition is all internal. So you can look like a female. You can look like a female more than a female can look like a female. But the definition of ish is just if you provide the seed, and that is the definition. So the trap, they are just hot. That's it. There's nothing there. I'm speaking about what's called as post-op, where they post, obviously, after operation, after they get this, what they call gender reassignment surgery, which is like we now established that it's not true. You can change the externals, but the definition of man and woman is a completely internal thing. And I would even say this, but some might laugh or whatever, but I'd say, God forbid, if a person, because we're taught that a person can do teshuvah at any point. And so we know that Hashem can obviously do literally anything, because the video game is real. That's going to be another podcast. But Hashem can literally generate or regenerate limbs, organs, and energy in the world. Hashem can regenerate, fix in an instant. We know, like a video game, like what can you do in a video game? The answer is, what can't you do in a video game? In a video game, anything goes, and basically we have to get to the realization right now that the video game is actually real, and that Hashem is real and amazing, and that the more people that realize this, the more miracles we can actually all witness together. Okay, because we just have to prepare the world basically to witness miracles, and based on the teachings of Gaon Rav Moshe Shapira, Zecher Tzadik V'Kadosh Livracha. But as we're going to explain, what the concept of the video game is real and all these kind of things, it's going to be, I think, a separate podcast. But here, what we tried to highlight also is that Esh, fire, the language is used, but again, fire, this is one of the most important lessons that I ever heard. Oh, and that's very appropriate. Thank you. Thank God that I wanted to say this, actually. The most important message, one of the most important messages that you can ever hear in your life is the following, is that there's nothing really good or bad in the world. No thing is really good or bad. Everything is simply potential. The more potential this thing has means the more good you can do and the more not good you could do, right? Okay, so for example, a fire. Fire is not good or bad. Fire is potential. And because it's so great, it has so much potential, fire can do so many good things. It can heat the home. It can illuminate the night. It can protect. It can cook your food. It can, you can be warmed by the fire. You can read by the fire. You can use it to sterilize metal and to kosher pots, right? You have to put it in the fire until it turns white, the metal items, And so fire can be used for so much good. And because it has so much potential, it could be used for so much good. And because it has so much potential, it could be catastrophic, God forbid. Burning cities, people's lives taken in the fire, God forbid. Burning the world in a fire, God forbid. And so it's all about how you use it. And so the same thing with the internet. The internet has so much potential. So you could do so much good with the internet. You can literally raise money overnight to save people, to save lives, to do a project that, you can raise money overnight and spread information, important information, and have it reach the entire world. And you can literally do it now with live streaming. You could do it in a second, really. Maybe there's a few second delay, but you can spread a message around an entire planet and make sure that everyone in the world, wherever they are, can hear a certain thing. I don't have to explain how amazing the internet is. But again, with the internet, that literally the portals to hell, to the portals to seeing the most disturbing things that you've never wanted to see in your life. And the whole dark world, and I'm not even speaking of dark web, but I'm just saying in general, even what you can access. But it's just, we know exactly what the internet is. Okay? And so the more potential it has, the more good it could do, and the more not good. And the same thing with people. Now this is amazing. The more now we understand, right? Everyone is given potential. The more potential you have means the more good you can do or the more not good you could do. It all depends on how you wield. So meaning, if a person has been doing so much not good, they feel like they are, let's say, the worst person to ever live. What that really means is that if they flip themselves and channel that potential the other way, they could be one of the best people on earth. That's what that means. Because again, everything is neutral. It depends on how you wield it. And so this is such an important lesson. Let's say for all the people who are labeled all these different things or whatever, or doing, let's say, so many what's wrong things and whatever, what that all really means, all this noise, what it means is that if you, these kids, this generation, these kids could be the prophets that are supposed to walk the earth again, the prophets of Hashem. But they've been channeling the potential in the wrong way, and it's not even their fault really, because this world is built like a death trap. These kids are never going to get the things that they need to do, and not only that, but all of the distractions are going to be made free download and available for you at and just to distract you. The kids are never going to get the things that they need, excuse me. And that's the simple lesson of the fact that whatever. Okay. So that is the definition. I think that we're going to cut it short here. I wanted to say another interesting thing here is that the woman, the side of the woman, you have the letter Hey, and like we said, the upside down letter Yud. But really, out around every single upside down letter Yud is an invisible letter Tet, right? Because the letter Tet is literally the shape is surrounding the letter Yud, and the Tet, as the kids say on Pesach, Tisha mi odea, who knows 9? Tisha ni odea, I know 9. 9 are the months of pregnancy, the moons of pregnancy. Right, because month from the word moon, month, from the moon, that it was a cycle of the lunar cycle. So basically, 9 are the months of pregnancy, and so again, the upside down Yud, the Tet, is like a womb, a protective womb that surrounds and protects, and that's exactly around every single upside down Yud is the protective womb. The little Yud is like a baby, and so basically, it's interesting that when the woman gives birth, what's written in the Torah is Vateled. Teled, if you read that backwards, is Dalet. Teled is Dalet, the letter Dalet, because when a woman gives birth, she becomes the letter Dalet. What does that mean? That the little Yud goes away, and now all you're left with is a Dalet. The little baby is now born, Baruch Hashem, Vateled, and now she, instead of becoming a Hey, she becomes the letter Dalet. Those are just some of the things. Again, if you see if this inspired you to some different kind of thoughts and insights, if you like anything, please leave a comment, let me know. And this is an experiment. I think that this one was good because, although there are some pauses and everything, but I think that this was good because we actually got to speak about the actual thing, and I think that it was done in a pretty gentle, good manner. With the respect and the sensitivity that is needed for this to be discussed. All right, so did I just forget to change that back? Yeah, I did. Oh wow, okay. So I'll just show the visuals. The last page that I was saying that the letter Hey, really outside every letter Hey is the letter Tet, because the Tet surrounds and protects like a womb. And so that was the whole thing there. And when the woman gives birth, the letter Hey that's on the side of the woman, the Yud departs, and you're left with the letter Dalet. So Vateled, she became the letter Dalet, meaning she doesn't have the Yud anymore. The Yud is now born. Okay, so at least we got that at the end there. All right, I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, feel free, obviously, to spread the message that an actual definition exists and to educate ourselves as to what the real definition of man and woman is. It's built into the code, and yeah, thank you so much. Cold too.